sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out on 100.1 FM, or you're listening to us on at the W Show KC on one of our social media platforms, we greatly appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning. Good morning, y'all. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Yeah. How was everyone's week? The holiday week.
I think I'm still full.
Are y'all stuffed from all the stuffing?
No. I'm sure you got stuff though, didn't you?
Of course. Man, what like we didn't talk about this, but like, what's your go-to Thanksgiving food? Like it's a must-have at Thanksgiving.
Candy yams.
Yams, okay.
And mac and cheese.
Okay, you made the mac and cheese. How'd that turn out?
Yes, it was definitely a hit.
All right.
What kind of cheese you use?
I did like a habanero jalapeno cheese mix, and then like a 4-cheese mix, and just cheddar on the top.
Yeah.
So I had a little kick to it.
It looked nice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I was very proud of it, low key.
You sent the photo. I was like, oh, okay. All right, Josh.
I was waiting for y'all's pictures. We talked about the comparisons. I was waiting.
I guess I never sent mine, but yeah,
man,
I have to send you mine.
Yeah, Q, what's your go-to?
My go-to is probably always mac and cheese, but if we're talking about like the meats, between like ham, turkey, and everything else, I think it's ham. Okay, that honey baked ham. She's that girl.
I ain't a big ham guy. I like turkey. It just depends on it. But one question though, cranberry sauce or no cranberry sauce?
Absolutely not.
I take some cranberry sauce here and there. I usually don't never get it like voluntarily, but then when I eat it, I'm like, dang, I don't never get this, and I should.
It to me, it does something different for the food. Like it has like a little taste that makes the food enhance a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's like it's like it balances out because it's that sweet, because like everything is savory. And then that sweet just kind of like balances everything out. So
I think it's a texture thing for me. I can't do it. Not a fan.
You got to mix it in with your dressing a little bit.
Ooh, I might have to try it.
All right, coming up on today's show, we got a lot to dive into. The Week 11 NFL MVP odds for 2022-23 have Patrick Mahomes on track to win award for the second time. We'll dive into that a lot, and I want to ask you guys a question about Travis Kelce in that voting process. We'll talk about it a little bit later. And U.S. men's national team has World Cup advancement within reach after England draw. A lot of people were upset about that online. And KC Business Journal reports that Sporting KC execs pushed Kansas to enact sports betting fund designated to attract Chiefs.
Of course.
Chiefs to KCK.
I mean, we think all this big money's in play without cheating.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. All right, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones discusses his photo showing him at a 1957 Arkansas desegregation protest. We're going to talk about that coming up. And in about 30 minutes, we'll have our sneakers of the week during our Hated 11 segment. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
I know Steve is geeked about this one. The Week 11 NFL MVP odds for 2023 have Patrick Mahomes on track to win the award for the second time. Steve?
You know, I is really interesting because early on in the season, or even before the season, folks wrote the Chiefs off, like with no Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes. What is he? Or what can he? Or what can he be? You know, like this. And I said at the beginning of the season, I know y'all remember me talking about this will make him. He'll have to be better. You know, it's going to make him better as a quarterback. He's going to, you know, be able to throw a lot of the underneath routes instead of just going the deep ball all the time. And he's going to be able to have to look for different other guys, get other people involved, except 87 and 10. And so I think now with him coming out this season and being able to, you know, carry his team, the Chiefs would not have won the game against the Tennessee Titans had it not been for Patrick Mahomes.
I can give you that.
And there's been other games like that he's, you know, just put the team on his back. And we talked about it a few weeks ago. How much can the Chiefs continue to rely on Patrick Mahomes, right? So with that being said, I mean, there's other quarterbacks in the league that have been playing well, but you know, to lose your, you know, I would say Tyreek Hill is a future Hall of Fame wide receiver. To lose a Hall of Fame wide receiver that arguably was your team, and now you're coming out and it looks like you haven't missed a beat. I mean, I would say that you know, him winning the MVP this year is you know, agreed. No one should be able to deny that.
Yeah, and that's not a slight to Tyreek Hill, because I mean he's still doing well in Miami.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm just as biased as a Chiefs fan when it comes to this MVP discussion, because Jalen is MVP. And it takes such a young team, but I mean now he loses his starting tight end. So it's gonna become that race. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has lost 2 games, one of them to a contender, the other not so much to a contender. But you could say the same thing about Jalen. Like Jalen lost to Taylor Hinkie, you know, however you say his name, but and that's a blemish for both, because I mean, if you stand them next to each other, you know, Patrick lost to Matt Ryan, and it's like, you know, Matt Ryan's a little bit above Taylor. But I mean, it's Jalen for me. So
Jess.
I mean, I'm with you on it. I don't think it's much of a surprise. I know that in the beginning it was a big thing what it's going to be without Tyreek Hill, and I think he's proven himself. So I don't think it's much of a surprise.
And I want to ask y'all this question: what would it take for Travis Kelce to win NFL MVP? I mean, granted, it's a QB sport. Like, we had the graphic up there just a little bit ago, and it only included, you know, QBs. I mean, you had Mahomes, Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins. You got Brady on there.
Cousins.
You got to remember that, like, you got Kirk's been balling. Like, he has his team. What are they? 8-3, 9-3.
Yes, and he lost
9-2.
He lost a game to the Cowboys where he didn't even score.
Yeah. But you got to remember though, like, were they going to win out? No, they were going to take their lumps.
No, I'm not saying were they going to win out. You don't have an MVP discussion if you have a week where you don't score.
You can.
How?
You did most definitely. I mean, the offense just ain't clicking that game.
Okay, but
to not score at all.
To not score at all.
I mean, if the offense ain't clicking, it just ain't clicking.
I think he threw 3 interceptions. Like, that's not very MVP like. And
you got on your Vikings purple today.
And this surely isn't Vikings purple. Don't get that misconstrued. But yeah, I don't know. I hate that, because if anybody on the Minnesota Vikings is MVP, it's definitely not Kirk Cousins, and he's third on the rung, just on that team.
Okay,
so you got to be the best on your team, and that's why I don't really like this Travis conversation, because yes, Travis is a good tight end, but MVP,
he is, other than Mahomes, he is the Chiefs. Like, you've Look, Gronk had, I think, 18 total touchdowns in one season to, there's the most ever as a tight end. Every week, Travis Kelce is breaking a record. Like, he's on his way to have his 7th straight 1,000-yard season.
No, definitely. And he's in a passer friendly era. I mean, in a pass friendly era. So yes.
And he passed Gronk for the most 100-yard seasons or 100-yard games by NFL tight end.
Yeah. All of that.
So
all of that.
I say that to say he should at least be in that conversation. I just think he should.
If you're not the best on your team, you shouldn't be in an MVP. An MVP conversation is the best player in the whole league. You have to be the best player on your team first.
But can you have 2 MVP caliber players on your team? You can. I think you. That's not without question.
I mean, if we're talking like I would do the inverse. Like if I'm talking about MVP and I'm looking at the Minnesota Vikings, it's definitely Jay Jettis. It's not Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but that's 1 MVP on your team. Not 2.
Yes. And my point stands with the Chiefs as well. Like you have 1 MVP. Travis is not who he is without that guy, the most valuable player, and the value comes from Patrick.
And Justin Jefferson ain't who he is without Kirk Cousins.
I'm not. No, I wouldn't even go on that ledge. No.
So you mean to tell me you can't take Travis Kelce off the Chiefs and put him with Jalen Hurts and he wouldn't still be dominant?
Possibly.
Okay. All right.
It's a possibility. I'm not gonna say it's a for sure. Like, because we could think anything is a for sure. Like, yeah, there a lot of things weigh into how good Travis and Patrick is. And I can't take anything away from their talent. But coaching matters. And then having someone like Patrick matters. To the way he sees the field. That's why I'm like with Jalen Hurts, it's a totally different quarterback. He's younger. He doesn't have the experience. He hasn't had the same coach his whole career. So there's a lot of different things that come into play. And I'm still not putting Travis there.
I don't know, man. I think so. I think if there was 1 year that you could throw him in there, I think it would be this year, if any year.
Possibly, because
I mean he's had multiple 2 touchdown, 3 touchdown games.
Yeah, and I think if he was on the MVP discussion any year, I think it would have been I think it was 2 years ago. I think it was the year after the Super Bowl run. But
people would say, "Oh, well, Tyreek draws the coverage. Tyreek this, Tyreek that." This year, who's drawing that coverage?
No, true. Back then you could say true, but again, he did fairly well. I think it was 2 seasons ago, because it wasn't last season, but 2 seasons ago he did well, because I think he started out the year. I think it was that was Tyreek that started the year against that Miami game. So I mean, I'm just going off just pure performance. I mean, he's had, like I said, a couple of games where he's had three touchdowns. So yeah.
Now, U.S. men's national team has World Cup advancement within reach after England draw yesterday. What are your thoughts?
Dope. I mean, a lot of people went before the game. I'm just looking at social media, and I'm looking at the feed of like FIFA World Cup, and just looking at the England fan base and what they're saying. Oh, this is going to be a multiple score game by England. They're going to tear through the USA men's national team. I'm like, wow. And every media, everyone's saying it. And you watch them throughout the game, and no one can say that the U.S. did not dominate that game. They controlled the game. They controlled the ball. Yeah, my thing is, at the end of the day, I feel like if you're going to play that well, you got to score.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, speaking to the dominance, I have a different take on that.
Okay. I want to hear it.
First, how do y'all feel about the draws? Because I always grown up, even playing soccer, draws make me mad, frustrated.
Yeah.
Right? And as my dad would say, how do you go a whole game? There's a winner and there's a loser.
Yeah.
And to me, in 90 minutes, the U.S. dominated, but obviously they knew that they just needed a draw, so they dropped back and played defense the entire time. They had no motivation to attack. Why would I press forward and do that when all I need to do is get through? As long as you don't score, I'm putting every player on defense. And okay,
I got you.
So of course it looked like dominance, but you're not necessarily proactive or doing anything either. To me, in my eyes, is what it looks like.
I mean, I agree, because at the end of the game, I was like, all right, y'all have a set piece, you get a free kick, and you kick it to the side. You don't try to kick it to the goal. They settled for a draw. I totally agree with you. I felt like they should have went for the win. They should have went for the jugular. I mean, it was stoppage time. I mean, there could have been no advancement from England. Like, once you kick the ball to the goal, that was it.
Yeah.
At least try. And you guys settled for that. And I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Just but now you gotta win. Yeah. Like, you go on and play
because if it's dropping 2 and you're out, right? Or
no, so the way they're in Group B, and it's basically a point system. So I think the US has, if we can see that graph again, the US has 2 points right now. They're playing Iran on Tuesday. And so the US, if they would have beaten Wales and not had another draw, I think they would have had 3 points, which they'd be tied with Iran. So I don't know if they would have been able to just have a draw against Iran. I believe so. But England's going to move forward, and possibly United States, but the United States has to win out now. Yeah, it's top 2. It's the top 2. So Iran has to. I think Iran is looking for a draw. The U.S. has to win.
And I feel like that's the true test. Like, I don't want to get too hype yet, because I would be more impressed and hype about a dub rather than a draw.
Yeah.
But still good.
And Iran isn't, Iran isn't England.
Right.
Like, they are good, but the US should be able to beat this team.
Yeah.
They barely beat Wales. So you should be able to move out of the Group B stage. You should.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully. How are the women doing?
So the women are much better. That's why I think.
They have been for a while.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, you guys still got a little more proving to do, and I'm gonna keep it that way right now. Well, the women have a little bit of power, the upper leg.
And we got to remember too, this team, the U.S. men's national team, is the 3rd youngest team in the tournament.
True.
Like, they're still very young. Their captain is only 20 years old.
Jeez.
So I mean, they're a young team. They're a revamped team. I know you guys remember last World Cup. They had Graham Zusi, who was with Sporting. Matt Beasler was an alternate on that team. So I mean, this is some new blood, and I think now they're gaining that experience, especially to play England. So yeah,
we'll see. I feel like that's the true test.
Yep.
Now, Deion Sanders under consideration for 2 FBS head coach jobs. Q?
I hate it, but I love it for him. I would hope Deion stays another year at least, because that would be his 3rd season, right?
It'd be his 3rd season, yes.
Yeah, I'd like to see him stay another year, just to hopefully get some more former players, bigger names around, HBCU football. But then I like it for him because he's prime time.
Yeah. For me, we should have had this in header 11, because it's like I'm kind of in straddling the fence a little bit, because for him, I'm like, yeah, it's cool, right? Like, you need that recognition. You brought a lot of recognition yourself to the HBCU. Like, I don't think one person in HBCU history has brought that much recognition to not only a program, but just to the league. So I think he deserves it. However, on the flip side of that, once he leaves, where does that leave the HBCU?
And that's what I'm saying.
Like, and his recruits, like, these guys came here to play for you, or went to Jackson State to play for you. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of them could have had some other Division I offers at Power 5 schools, right?
Yeah.
So now where does that leave them? Then they get into the transfer portal.
Mhm.
Then they, if you're able to pick them up and take them with you, where does that leave the kids that are already at these programs?
Exactly.
So you're kind of, I don't know, like the Colorado job. Yeah, Colorado's not really good at football, but I just feel like you're messing with the system.
And do we know which two teams? I think I heard which two schools offered him.
He interviewed with TCU and Colorado State last offseason.
Yeah, Colorado State.
Colorado State.
Yep.
Oh, okay. He's not leaving.
You don't think so? You don't think so?
I'm not leaving for those two schools.
I mean, if they throw the bag at him, okay. I mean, I'm just saying, money talks.
I mean, yes, money does talk, and even looking at it from a strategical sense. I mean, yes, maybe he does need to take one of these lower FBS teams before he's at an Auburn or a Tennessee or USC, a school like that. But I mean, you throw other coaches in there, and especially the young white coaches, you'll give them those jobs,
of course,
and like Lane Kiffin has been allowed to fail. He's been unlimited. He's been allowed to fail unlimited.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I see that, but no, I'm not. But that's me personally. Again, I'm biased because I went to an HBCU, but no, I'm not leaving an HBCU for Colorado State or TCU.
TCU maybe, not Colorado State. TCU maybe.
Still no.
It's Big 12. I mean,
if I'm going to Big 12, I need an Oklahoma job. I need a Texas job. I need a job like in
TCU's not a bad place, Q. Like TCU's they're ranked one or two in Big 12 right now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they ain't been.
And I mean, the Big 12 is down.
They're not down. I can't say they're down.
We could say that. Like, where's Texas at? Where's Texas Tech? Like, name a Big 12 school. Like, please name.
K-State's balling right now. You got on your K-State purple today too.
I could halfway give you K-State.
Okay, KU's balling. They were.
That's what I'm saying. They were.
It's an outlier.
Yeah, that's an outlier. That's an exception, not the rule. Because again, like with Kansas, like I would even say no to that job. One, because it's Lawrence, Kansas, and Deion Sanders is not turning around Lawrence, Kansas. But then two, like, I need a school with some tradition, and not necessarily tradition, but I need a school with some kind of oomph behind it, because again, what Deion is going to bring to that school is, like, you see what it's bringing to Jackson State.
Yeah.
And what he's going to bring to one of these lower level schools, I think it's just going to be way unbalanced.
And Adam Garcia on our Facebook Live feed, if you're listening to us on 100.1 FM, you can message us and chime in on the Facebook Live feed. And Adam said that Deion is not better than Steve Sarkisian. I mean, I as far as coaching goes,
I don't know that.
I was just going to say that we don't. I mean, he hasn't been put in the same situations. He did it for HBCU, not saying that it's a lower level, but then again, it's Power 5.
There's definitely a lower level of player that goes there, and I mean, yes, that's intentional too. Like, we don't even have to go into that.
Yeah,
but Sarkisian, I'm not giving him that, because some coaches can really stand on their assistants, and it's not necessarily them. So, maybe you have a strong defensive coordinator, maybe you have a strong offensive coordinator, somebody that can do that in that realm. And then maybe you're just, better at managing the team than they are. But I haven't seen Sarkisian. Like, who did Sarkisian make his stamp with? It wasn't USC.
It's Texas right now. But
exactly. So
I think what's Arizona NFL Arizona coach?
Herm?
No, not Herm. Cliff Kingsbury. I think he's on his way out.
Oh, the Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals. I think Cliff Kingsbury is on his way out. And I think he'll be the hot commodity as a head coach.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, what has Cliff Kingsbury done
in NFL or college?
Either.
Patrick Mahomes. We can move on. I'm just saying. You asked.
You know, on game shows when it's like the wrong answer.
Next, all right, Kyrie Irving on his first game back with the Nets after suspension. Let's hear from Kyrie first.
Did you ever have any fears, doubts, whatever, that you would never get this chance that you guys wouldn't be able to work through this and get you back here to playing for the Nets again?
Never had a doubt.
Hey, Kyrie. There was a group of about 100 people outside wearing the shirt of a group called Israel United in Christ, a group labeled as a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. They were outside in support of you and handing out anti-Semitic literature on the plaza to people walking by. And I was wondering if I can get your reaction to that.
I didn't see it. What happened? There was a group outside?
There was a group outside, 100, possibly more. They were wearing a shirt called Israel United in Christ. They're a group labeled as a hate group by the...
I think that's a conversation for another day. I'm just here to focus on the game.
Kyrie, but you've said this whole time that you didn't know what kind of what kind of voice you had, but if these are the people that are out here in your name, do you feel like that's a consequence of what you've done?
Again, I'm just here to focus on the game.
Yeah. To me, I feel like they were poking
the
bear. Yeah, you can say poking the bear. They kept asking the same question over and over again. It's like, clearly, it's the reason why Beast Mode came out with I'm just here so I don't get fined. Right? And I don't know. I think he did his time. Basically, he paid his fine and move on. And he apologized.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think it.
I mean, and I'm not saying it doesn't make it right, but
yeah, no, I definitely think they should move on. Like, we've had enough of discussion about this, and yes, some things that he aligned with will bring things out like this. Like, yes, it'll bring some unwanted attention, but also that's a reminder to all of these young players and personalities and people that have celebrity or whatever it is. Like, before you go tweeting out these links, like, understand what you're looking at. And that's the root of the issue, for one, because now he can't escape it. And they keep asking these questions. But yeah, they are being heavy-handed. Because we have politicians literally like doing very Nazi things in a very literal sense of like what Nazis do. And there aren't any media like rushing to talk to them and have them apologize. Yeah. And again, that's the double standard that Black people always face. Like, they went through hoops to not talk about Brett Favre.
The mainstream media, yeah.
Like, jumped through hoops. Like, oh, well, he's not playing no more. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
And I get it. New York media is much different than let's just say Kansas City media. I think they can get away with a little bit more. I mean, if let's just say a player out there, let's just say Salvador Perez did something like that, right? I think media
to that level either.
Yeah, I think media would be, and I'm not just saying a player of Kyrie's stature, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, we could just say throw Mahomes out there. And I think Chiefs PR, I think Royals PR would have been all over it. Like, hey, he already said no. He doesn't want to talk about it. Either this press conference is going to be over, or we're going to move on to something different. And sometimes those PR people have their own media person in there that could turn the question, how it's happening. So like, you're asking one thing, they're going to divert it to, okay, so how's Ben Simmons?
Also on the flip side, like, had they tried talking to Kyrie before he dug himself in this hole, like, maybe they tried to help him out And it's like, all right, you want to die on that hill. I'm gonna sit back here and let the man ask these questions.
I don't know. It's a good question.
And that's sometimes what it comes down to. I mean, even team doctors, like, I mean, Tyrod Taylor has a case in his eye. Like, so it's a lot that goes into these organizations, and players, personality, people, everybody has to be more careful. Yeah. Especially with the words you use, because yes, it could compound into something like this, and it doesn't help that you're a black man. Like, because now you're more than doubly wrong, you're quadruply wrong, because you already got 2 strikes against you,
plus the whole vaccination thing and everything else that was already.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, Kyrie, yes, you are seeking the knowledge, but the knowledge ain't as complicated as he's like trying to make it. Yeah. Like,
and then you had the whole LeBron before that. I'm talking 5, 6 years ago. Say 7, 8, 5, 6 years ago. You had the whole LeBron thing. You going to Boston. Yeah. Boston fans, it didn't work out. You want to leave Bron, and you go there, and then it's like stuff just doesn't work out. And then, now you end up in Brooklyn, and it just ain't what everyone thought it was going to be.
No, it is. I mean, it's definitely not. But I mean, you hate it for him, but it's just questions at the end of the day.
Come on, Uncle Drew.
Now we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss Arizona Cardinals and the steroid boy. Keep it locked in. This is Deb Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Are you ready to take your gaming experience to the next level? Max Adrenaline Mobile Video Gaming is here to offer the best mobile entertainment that includes video games, laser tag, and karaoke. Our mobile video game theater offers a 33-foot climate-controlled luxury RV with 5 gaming stations, and we can accommodate up to 20 players at once. Are you looking for entertainment at your next event? Well, look no further. We'll come to you. Specializing in birthday parties for all ages, sports events, team building, corporate events, school functions, holiday parties, and more. We're here when you need us at 816-897-0509 or maxadrenalinekc.com.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag #TalkAboutItMessages, and we will talk about whatever topic you want. Now, DeAndre Hopkins finds Trevarius Ward's steroid boy attack laughable. Let's hear what Diop had to say.
Since last week's game?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I'm not the kind of guy to go to social media for stuff like that. Obviously, it sounded very personal, but you know, the crazy thing about this league, you never know when you might end up on a team with somebody.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, so you know, it is what it is, man. I'm not the kind of guy that they get a PO, you know, public service announcement about, you know, somebody else. But you know, we're all in the fraternity together. You know, I hate to hear a guy talk like that about somebody, about anybody. You know, so for me, man, I just, you know, I pray for people like that. But you know, man, you know, a lot of people are tough, you know, when they can go and type something and say something. But, you know, I respect guys like Le'Veon Bell who get in that boxing ring. You know, I wish there was something that, you know, that guy over there that said something to me about. You know, I would definitely love to get in a boxing ring and see how tough he is in real life.
Huh.
Yeah.
Really?
Now, of course, Ward's take originally was along the lines of thinking he's a tough guy. He tried to talk all this noise and act hard, but we're not actually scared of him. So, Q, what are your thoughts?
I like it because this is what I like to see. I mean, the steroid boy thing was probably some way to get his attention,
Yeah.
and clearly he got it.
Yeah.
And I like it because it's a back and forth. Like I don't think anybody cares how true it is.
And not only that, but it's, you know, I mean, there's that huge stigma of steroid in any sport, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's what more or less, and he already got in trouble for it. You know, he faced his suspension time. So I think that's kind of it made him mad.
Get suspended.
Yeah, he was suspended there. He just came back like 3 games ago. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. I did forget about that. Okay.
Yep. So that's what makes it even worse. So for him to say, I'll pray for him. When somebody's like, when athletes say, I'll pray for him, I'll pray for you, that means you really want to say something, but you ain't gonna say it.
That's the part I was trying to digest, because people don't really go religious unless they take the high road. And he definitely took the high road there until he said, let's put on the gloves. Because it's funny because I think him and Le'Veon might have talked about something about you, especially with them being former teammates and all of this. So it's something behind that. I hope we see one of them in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Now, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones discussed his photo showing him at 1957 Arkansas desegregation protest. Let's hear what Jerry had to say.
I think, you know, when you think about Jerry and his longevity in football, it makes you feel like he's one of those guys that always looks out for black people, right?
Yeah, right.
And then and seriously, I mean, just think about the guys who he's had. I mean, Michael Irvin, he's had like Pac-Man Jones. Like, these aren't just your normal.
That don't mean nothing.
Hold on, but these aren't just your normal. These aren't just Russell Wilsons coming through Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
These are guys who have had a past, right? Like, so when you see this, it's like, oh man, this is who Jerry really was.
No.
You know, back then.
No, because it's a lot more insidious than that. Because yes, you have talent and all of that. So now I can hold this over your head. Like, so that's what that is. Like, that's just picking up a player that holds the scarlet letter. But no, we now know that, and especially after his comments with Colin Kaepernick's protest, and how that bled into the next season, and him ultimately ending up having to take that knee. We know for a fact that Jerry Jones has been against racial progress for 70 years.
But you can't say that, though, because he pays guys millions of dollars.
Paying doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't.
So then Donald Sterling, like, the money he paid should cover up a one-time thing. And that's the issue. Like, that's part of the issue, is because when we talk about racism and the white people that inflict the racism, but then also like benefit from it, like, then we absolve it by saying, oh, well, they paid some money. Like, no. Like, racism is terrorism. Period.
And the reason why I get that, I get you. I mean, I know you can't just buy people, do what you want, say what you want, do what you want because you're spending the millions of dollars, right? I get that part of it, but like when you think about Pac-Man Jones, right? Like he was a terror in the league. Like when he got his money in the league,
a product,
no one, a product was vitamin, right?
Yes.
But no one would pick him up. Like no other team would fool with him. But here goes Jerry. Come on down here. We heard about Michael Irvin and all of his antics and the drug use and everything. Nobody wanted him, but here goes old Uncle Jerry. That's what I'm saying. So like, I just
that doesn't remove the racism though.
But we have Jerry. Let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah, that was 65 years ago, and a curious kid. I didn't know at the time the monumental event really that was going on, and I'm sure glad that we're a long way from that. I am, and we just that would remind me just continue to do everything we can to not have those kinds of things happen.
Any regrets of just being in the photo, being there at all?
What?
Any regrets on being in the photo, being there at all?
Well, I wouldn't have just dug that up for sure.
Right.
I mean, seriously. But that was curiously, I got criticized because I was more interested in how I was going to be punished by my coaches and everybody for being out front. But nobody there had any idea, frankly, what was.
And that was a friend of the show, Clarence Hill, who covers the Dallas Cowboys too, who asked that question about, did he have any regrets of, being there?
Yeah. I mean, I got to give it up for Dan Snyder because without all of the BS he's going through, we don't get him to start unloading the files like this, because this is definitely a Dan Snyder doing. Because why wouldn't you start at the top of the owners? Like Jim Irsay, remember when we talked about Jim Irsay coming out against him and how tight-lipped Jerry Jones was, and we was talking about, why don't other owners get behind him and all that? It's because of things like this. And billionaires play a dirty game with each other. And we know that. Like, we know that for a fact.
A photo 50 years ago, though, like
Yeah, I'm digging up all the files.
Yes,
it's crazy.
Like if y'all are gonna
look at some of my pictures, let me see what I got.
No, because if y'all are gonna stand, on the opposite side of me in these owner meetings, then yeah, because all of the dirt I got on y'all, and I'm sure all of these owners, like I'm sure Clark Hunt has a file stashed away of all the owners that he has dirt on. But then I'm also sure that the dirt that is on owners that other coaches have, that he has some on him as well. And none of them have gotten to where they have gotten without racism. And that's why they don't stand firmly against it. That's why the NFL will put end racism on the back of the end zone, but then try to figure out ways to not pay, the pay out the players that have suffered concussions and CTE and all that. Like it's just a ruse. So again, yes, it's a ruse that, I was just a curious kid, but and rest in peace to Tamir Rice, because he would have been like, I think it was like 21 or 22 the other day. But when Tamir Rice was just murdered for just being a kid outside playing with a toy gun, it's like, he was a young man. So I don't like to mince words when it comes to especially white men with being racist, because if they're smart, they're genius, and they did all of this to make all of this money.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And racism is the only thing you don't get. Like, nah, he was there, and he heard that it was some black kids trying to come into the school, and we want to intimidate them. And so 60 something years later, when Colin Kaepernick is trying to buck the system, and it goes on 2 seasons, and his team is being asked to like kneel, he's like, no, He's like, we don't need any racial progress. Like, we're fine where we're at. Like, I can take these players that have a troubled past and I can just dangle them and do what I want with them. And it's just it's a level of manipulation that nobody wants to talk about. And that's why, he's gonna jumble around it and say, oh, hey, I was a kid. Nah, you knew why you was there.
And as Lisa Palmer put on this chat, if they knew better, they do better.
No, that's the problem. They know better and they're not doing better. Like we don't. Jerry Jones is 70, probably 80 something years old, and he's still 82. But he's still having trouble like understanding the nuances of racism. Like he's got to stop, and we have to stop like treating these. We have to stop treating these grown white men at 15, 16, 17 years old that do these atrocious things. Like, we have to look at them as men. Like, we can't look at them as just fumbling teenagers that don't know better. No, they know better.
Facts.
Okay.
Now, KC Business Journal reports that Sporting KC execs pushed Kansas to enact the sports betting fund designed to attract Chiefs.
I mean, it's a smart thing to do, especially when you have all the land out there by the legends. I mean, you have a lot of stuff that's coming. You also have NASCAR, you have MLS, you have Grey Wolf Lodge. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. And the land at one point was cheap. Now I think the price is jumping up just because you got Hollywood Casino out there. New home subdivisions are in that area. Cerner put one of their offices out there, office buildings out there. So I think there's a lot that's happening in that area. I'm not sure what kind of tax breaks you get from being out there, but at the end of the day, I feel like you're gonna have to do something to try to lure this team, lure the Kansas City Chiefs over there.
No,
you're gonna have to do something, but I don't feel like they're gonna go. I don't.
I mean, now we see the kind of like dire situation Brett Favre was in when he needed to steal some money for his team. Because at this level, when you have these multi-millionaire, billionaire people, yes, they want to make more money, and so yes, they're gonna try to use their money and their influence to like cheat a little bit, and do all of that. But then again, we just look at it as, oh, it's innocent because they aren't killing people.
But I do think that they have a strong argument to move the team out there. I mean, you have, like I said, a lot of land, and it's especially if they're willing to put in some money. Now, if the Royals get a $2 billion stadium or $2 billion put into their fund of building a stadium, I feel like now, Kansas is going to have to, Kansas City, Kansas is going to have to put a lot of that bill.
Exactly, and that's tricky because I don't think the infrastructure in KCK can handle that. So again, like that's another influx. Like, yes, you can do soccer, and you can build that out there. But I don't know if the the state or the county of Wyandotte, the county of Wyandotte can really handle that. And I think it's a numbers game because KCK is like that big compared to, KC Mo.
Yeah.
And so yes, like Independence is able to handle that influx of people. They were able to grow with the team. I don't know if the Chiefs team is able to grow with,
and I know KCK is a lot smaller than Kansas City, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City, Missouri isn't really built off of visitors, like Kansas City, Kansas is, like Miami, like city of or Dade County is built a lot off of Ocean Drive visitors. Same with, even though it's middle of America, small town, I just think it's more built off of hotel taxes and things like that.
Yeah, and then I think putting the stadium up there, I think it turns the level of corruption up, and I don't think KCK needs more corruption more than what they have now.
Kansas farmers. Wow.
Now, Brown University freshman Olivia Picardo makes history, becomes first woman on Division I baseball roster.
That's dope. Jazz, what you think?
I can respect it. I think it is crazy in the time right now where we've been we've been going back and forth on the transgender and everything in different roles in sports. So I do think that's an interesting take that they're allowing a woman to do it, but more power to her. I think it's dope, and I am happy to see that for her.
I am too. My only thing is, can she hit a fastball of a Division I pitcher?
Yeah, that's mechanics.
I mean, that's also strength too, because I mean,
it's mechanics.
I don't know, Q. You got a 90, 100 mile. Some of these guys throwing 100 consistently, 95 consistently. Can she hit that? I mean, she's on the team. Yes, I got that, but like, fundamentals are one thing, and being able to hit a fastball. I mean, you got a lot of guys that can't.
Yeah.
So and that's my only question. Like, I'm not. No, I love it.
I could use a couple of guys on our high school team as examples. Like there were a couple of guys that could throw 90 something miles an hour and didn't lift a weight a day in their life. So
I know it's hand-eye coordination. I know I get that.
Yeah, but no, baseball is mechanics. So yeah, she should be able to hit the ball. I don't think that'll be an issue.
Okay.
I love to see it. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll have our Hater Love It segment. Kick it off with our Sneakers of the Week. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Are you ready to take your gaming experience to the next level? Max Adrenaline Mobile Video Gaming is here to offer the best mobile entertainment that includes video games, laser tag, and karaoke. Our mobile video game theater offers a 33-foot climate-controlled luxury RV with 5 gaming stations, and we can accommodate up to 20 players at once. Are you looking for entertainment at your next event? Well, look no further. We'll come to you. Specializing in birthday parties for all ages, sports events, team building, corporate events, school functions, holiday parties, and more. We're here when you need us at 816-897-0509 or maxadrenalinekc.com.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
Hate it. If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off our Sneakers of the Week, we have the Air Jordan 6 Black Chrome.
Love them. Love them.
Yeah.
Tough.
Came out this morning.
Yeah.
Yep, love them.
Tough. Nike Air Max 1 87 Burgundy Crush.
Nah, I didn't get them.
I like these.
Yeah, these are fire. These are fire. What is that? What is that? Ox blood?
Yeah, that's
all. Yeah, that was fire.
Super. Nike Dunk High Blue Chill is my favorites this week.
Ooh.
Those are my favorite this week.
Ooh,
A
yeah.
winner for a winner shoe?
Yeah,
They aren't my favorites this week, but they're up there. They're
You know,
they're 2-3 in the faves.
I love Carolina Blue too. So Blue Chill, the name. Okay.
Soul Goods Nike SB Dunk Highs.
These are fire too.
Tough.
I like the, yeah.
Is that like a suede material?
Yep. Olive green, probably a new buck. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like those.
I'm giving it trash because there's too much black in the middle.
Okay.
Maybe.
I need
Just the
less.
tongue and the strings.
Yeah. I mean, and the bottom tongue strings, and then that that bottom, and but yeah.
So you want just straight olive?
I mean, I like that monochrome look, and that black just kind of makes it a little ugly.
Okay.
Fair. Melvin Gordon posts questionable OJ Simpson meme to Denver fans after getting released by Broncos. Hate it or love it.
He's hilarious.
I love the trolling. I really do. I really do. That's funny.
Saudi Arabia's players will each receive a $460,000 Rolls Royce from Prince
Sheesh.
Mohammed after upsetting Argentina in the World Cup.
So when do they tryouts start?
Right. Like, y'all selling it or keeping it?
I'm keeping it.
I'm selling it.
Yeah. You got. I don't know.
You know what type of military you got to ride with to be able to ride around in that car? Nah, I'm not gonna be a sore thumb.
True.
Catch you down going down 71 and a Phantom. Picture me.
And then you got a little 96 Dodge Neon rolling up next to you with a stick hanging out the window. Nah.
Kansas City ain't like that, Q. Come on.
Everywhere is like that.
Oh, man.
Now, Super Bowl champ Richard Sherman says Zach Wilson is not good enough for the NFL. Hate it or love it.
That's hot take.
Look, I love it.
Let's hear from Zach Wilson, followed by Richard Sherman.
As an offense, though, I mean, when you guys are only able to score 3 points, the defense only lets up 3 points. I mean, do you feel like you let the defense down at all?
No. Thank you. I'm sitting him down. You got to sit down. You suck, and you're not helping the team in any way. The whole background about him in the draft was he's kind of a pretentious little a-hole. You cannot complete 9 passes in a game and say, I don't think I let my defense down at all. Like, his receivers were dang near ready to fight him. Zach Wilson isn't doing the easy stuff. Hey, we drew up this play for this guy. He's wide open. Just toss the ball to him. Nope. Zach Wilson wants to scramble and throw the ball away.
Yeah. He got a lot to say. He must not like Zach. Like, of all players.
No, it's not that. And that's the funny thing, because if somebody would have sat up there and said that about Kyler Murray, there would be no discussion about it. And that's it. That's it's literally black and white, because one, it's a former player talking about him. So yes, he sucks, and it's okay to say it.
Now, Yankees players attended career day at Sun School in full uniform. Hate it or love it.
I love it. Imagine showing up at your son's school with your Yankees fit on. That's dope. It wasn't just a jersey. I'm gonna wear this jersey. I wore my knee pads. I wore the helmet, the eye black. Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Dope.
That's hard. World Cup fan caught by police trying to sneak beer into Qatar's stadium inside binoculars. Hate it or love it.
I love it for the fact, but you ain't gonna catch. You seen what happened to Brittany Griner? We all saw that. Like, you ain't about to catch me in no. Yeah,
they're
in Qatar.
In the Middle East, they are executing people.
Yeah, they gonna put you. What's that? A Stockholm? What's that? When they put your head in the arms in the little thing, they gonna have me sitting up in there like.
They're executing people that protested police violence. So I don't want to know what they doing to people that's sneaking in liquor.
Yeah, let's see that in the video. Yeah. Hey, that's smooth though. Put it in the binocular lens. Got me a little flask in my binoculars. Catch me now, Q.
Nah. I don't need to get
so you can look out of one and drink out of the other. It's like
Now, Natalia Bryant, daughter of Kobe Bryant, gets restraining order against accused stalker. Hate it or love it.
I hate it, man. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Let her go to college. Leave her alone.
Man. NFL player retires after selling Pokemon card for 6 figures.
Got the bag and he's out of there.
Hold up. What y'all say about that Rolls Royce? Are you keeping it or are you selling it?
Period.
Right.
Chiefs wide receiver McCall Hardman breaks TV watching team from home. Hate it or love it.
That's extra.
I hate it. Come on, McCall, don't break your TV. Hey, but he knew Black Friday was coming. He went to Walmart and got that 65 inch for $288.
It was probably already broke.
65 inch for $288. Q.
Yeah,
I broke my TV. We appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. We hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving. Looking forward to Christmas. The holiday season is now here. Q. We can play the Christmas music. Cue the Christmas music,
brother.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining in on today's show on our message board. Remember to like us and love us on our social media pages at the W Show KC. You can hear a rewind on 100.1 FM on Mondays. Catch us next week. We out of here.
Bayou Classic, Southern University. Peace.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100 Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.